Hi, this is Fuad Abasov, a broker with Right at Home Realty, and this is your monthly real estate statistics.
Following a record-breaking couple of years, housing market in Greater Toronto area as well as in many parts of Canada have cooled off over the last 2 months, in line with the jump in interest rates and buyer fatigue. With mortgage rates up, demand is down, not exactly a surprise. April sales slowed down pretty significantly. They were 27% lower than March and 40% lower than last year. The number of transactions has dropped as buyers step back, and average price is down 15% from March to April. As has been the case with previous rate tightening cycles, some home buyers have moved to the sidelines to determine how they will reposition themselves in the marketplace given the higher rate environment and related impact on affordability, but will not remain there forever. The population of our region will continue to grow on the back of immigration. So what does it all mean for you? For buyers, there's more choice and less competition, but it's not a bad time for sellers either. People are still looking to buy, you may just not see as many multiple offers. Experts predict values will still keep rising, just at a slower rate. Policymakers should not assume that because home sales are off their record peak, we can ignore the lack of inventory in the market. In the absence of new supply, we will build a significant amount of pent-up demand that will need to be satisfied in the not-too-distant future. As we can see, today's real estate market has entered a more balanced state. Prices will continue to fall steadily over the next few weeks, mostly due to sellers who upsized and purchased during the peak season. In order to obtain mortgages and close their deals, current homes must be sold at all costs. Once these sellers are off the market, in my opinion, we will see another supply shortage. Keep in mind that people who purchased a property at a high price put in a considerable amount of down payment. They will not let go of house with negative equity. There is no economic crisis and people have stable jobs to pay for their mortgages. Interest rates will go back to the pre-pandemic level, and once people get used to it, prices will increase again. In addition to consider, there is a significant amount of people immigrating in the next 3 years, which will only increase housing prices, especially in GTA. Now let's take a close look at detached home sales in Greater Toronto area and surrounding areas. In Toronto, the average sales price of a detached home in April was $1.96 million, a 14.6% increase from April of last year. The amount of sold properties compared to last year was down 34%. The amount of new listings was also down by 24%. City of Vaughan. Average selling price of a detached home, $1.93 million. The amount of sold properties compared to April of last year is down 50%. The amount of new listings is down almost 20%. Average selling price was up 8% compared to April of last year. Richmond Hill. Detached home sales were down 53% compared to April of last year. The amount of new listings was also down by 26%. Average selling price was at $2.03 million, an 11% increase from April of last year. In Mississauga, the average selling price was $1.78 million, a 17% increase compared to April of last year. However, sales dropped 51%. The amount of new listings was also down by 21% compared to April of last year. Markham, sales were down 60% compared to April of last year. The average selling price was up 15% and is sitting at $1.94 million. In Newmarket, just like everywhere else, the amount of sales was down. In this case, it was 46% compared to April of last year. The average selling price was up 14% compared to last year at $1.39 million. Aurora. Sales are down by 67% compared to April of last year. Average selling price up by 31%, and average selling price is $1.9 million. Innisfil. Sales were down 58% compared to April of last year. Average selling price was $1.04 million, an increase of 17% compared to April of last year. King City, there were only 5 sold properties in April, 75% decrease compared to April of last year. Average selling price $3.22 million, a 20% increase from April of last year. In Bradford, there were only 23 sold properties in April, a 74% decrease compared to April of last year. An average selling price was $1.35 million, an increase of 24% compared to April of last year. Milton, significant decrease in sales, 57% compared to April of last year. An average selling price of detached home was $1.48 million, a 10% increase compared to April of last year. Stoufville, sales were down by 55%. The average selling price was up 10% compared to April of last year and was sitting at $1.60 million. The amount of sold properties in Barrie was down by 46%. The average selling price was $1 million in April, a 22.3% increase compared to April of last year. Approximately 2 months of inventory is available right now across Greater Toronto area, but this metric has been moving up, and the ratio of sales to new listings, another measure of market tightness, fell to approximately 66.5% in April. This ratio is approaching a level traditionally signaling the market is shifting from sellers to buyers. The rental market is a different story. Demand is high, supply is dwindling, and average rents are approaching pre-pandemic levels. With record immigration and local and international students back at school in person, that will only tighten things further.
If you'd like to receive information about home sales in your area, please email me at sold@fuadhomes.com or call me at 647-801-3401. Thanks for watching and see you next month.